Hello, I'm Jamila Payne from Color Me Crafty, and today I am going to show you 2 ways to sublimate over glitter HTV. I'll walk you through what to do if you're going to use Cricut Design Space and a solid design, and I'm also going to walk you through printing from Photoshop and what to do if you have a design that has some spaces in it. Okay, let's get started.
I've already created the design for you, but if you want to check and see how it looks with your sublimation print, then you can go ahead and drag the PNG into Photoshop, and then you're going to drag your image or whatever you are planning to sublimate into Photoshop also. Resize it over the design, and over in your layers panel, go ahead and right click and create clipping mask. And that's going to give you an idea of how your design is going to look. Let me unlock this layer so that I can put it on a black background because we're putting this on a black shirt. But this is the process in Photoshop to see how the design looks with the sublimated image overlay. If you use fonts that are too thin, this does not end up looking good because it becomes hard to see the picture. Let's move over to Cricut Design Space for the next steps. Go ahead and bring your design into Cricut Design Space, and it doesn't matter if you use the SVG or PNG for this. I brought in the PNG, but it has a transparent background, so it really doesn't matter which one you bring in for this. So we're going to get it on our canvas, and we are going to resize it and go ahead and cut it out as normal. You want to make sure to mirror your design like always. I'm putting mine on an extra large t-shirt for myself, and I always size these at about 10 and a half. So you can go ahead and click on make it and go through the normal process that you would cutting HTV in Cricut Design Space. Before we get started with how to cut and press these, I am going to show you in Cricut Design Space how to add an offset to a background so that you can sublimate over it. This next design is the design we're actually going to print directly from Cricut Design Space. I'm going to walk you through the basic steps of setting this up, and then we stop at the send to printer, and then I'm going to come back and walk you through how to set it up in Design Space but send it through Photoshop to print. Go ahead and upload the SVG into Cricut Design Space, and it's already named for you so you don't have to give the image a name. Click on upload, add it to your canvas. The first thing I want to do is resize this. You have all these pieces in your layers panel. You can recolor them however you want to for your design. But the first thing I am going to do is select everything, go up here to offset. Let's move this so that you can see what the offset is doing. All right, go up to offset and pay attention to the way the offset looks. And you can decide how big or how small you want it. I don't want a huge offset. Click on apply. And the offset color defaults to black, and you can see that we have a lot of space that we need to fill in here, and we're going to do that with the contour tool. Now I'm going to turn this layer off because I just want to see my offset, and select the offset, click on contour, and hide all contours. I want this piece to be one solid piece, so I'm going to turn this layer back on. I want to change this offset color to white, and then I'm going to make a duplicate of the offset. So we have the offset, and then we have our whole design. With your whole design selected, click on flatten, and that turns everything from a basic cut to a print then cut. Now click on Make It, and during this step, keep in mind that you are doing sublimation, so you do want to mirror. Select your paper size and then click on Mirror, and then go down here, mirror on your vinyl layer also. Just click back into that, click on Continue, and then you'll want to go ahead and send this design to your printer. As I explained, Photoshop is my preferred method for printing any sublimation designs, even when I'm using Cricut Design Space. So I walked you through how to print from Photoshop, but I also want to show you how to print from Cricut Design Space to Photoshop. All of the original steps are the same. All of the steps we took prior to the print part. So once you have your design set up on your canvas, you can go ahead and click Make It just like normal. Make sure your paper size is chosen and go ahead and mirror both your designs. I'm going to click back onto the print then cut. Click on Continue. The next step is to send it to your printer. We are going to use the system dialog box just like I said. Click on Print. And sometimes, I don't know why it does this, my print dialog box opens behind the Cricut Design Space window. So if that happens, all you want to do is go behind and pull it to the front. All of these settings are going to stay the same, and you're going to go down here where you see this drop down where it says PDF. Click on Save as PDF, and you can give it a name and then decide where on your computer you want to save it. After you've done that, you can go ahead and cut out your vinyl, or you can wait. Now we are going to go over to Photoshop, and we are in Photoshop. We are going to go to Open, go where you have that file saved, and we're going to open that file. Leave everything the same, click OK, and here is our design. When you go to print, you want to make sure you're selecting the correct paper size that you are going to be using. It's already mirrored because we mirrored it before we saved it. So I'm going to go to File and Print, and then I'm going to click on Print Settings, and here's my paper size. You want to move your design as close as you can to how it looks in Cricut Design Space. Usually it's up here in one of the corners, but if you're unsure, you can either flip back and forth through the two screens, or you can open them somewhere, something similar to this, so that you can see both. And then you'll go back in here, and we're going to move this. We're going to move this to the corner like it is in this design, and it'll print out from Photoshop. Once you have your print, you're going to come back over here, and you're going to cut everything out just like normal. All of the remaining steps are the same. And allow your printer to print the design. Let's talk about the supplies we'll need. Anytime I'm working with sublimation, I try to keep a pair of heat gloves on hand, even if I don't use them, for just in case. You want heat tape, a lint roller. I use this clear one. Your brayer tool, a weeding tool, both blue and green mats. The blue mat is going to be for your sublimation paper, and the green mat is for your vinyl. I'm using Caesar glitter vinyls, and I have both regular white and also the rainbow white. The rainbow white is my favorite because it has like confetti flakes in it. You of course want your t-shirts. You want a black one if you are doing the design like the one we showed in Photoshop, and any other color if you're doing a design like the others. And then you want your prints. My preference is always to print from Photoshop because Photoshop gives more bright and vibrant colors. And you'll also need your Cricut machine, of course. Let's start by getting everything cut out. You're going to want to cut your sublimation print on your blue mat. You don't want the paper ripping when you're pulling it apart from the mat. Place your print on your blue mat exactly the same way that you see it on your screen. Once you have it placed on the mat, you can use your brayer to secure it down a little bit better. Put it inside your Cricut machine, and you are going to cut on the copy paper setting. Once it's done cutting your sublimation print, you'll want to remove it from the machine, flip it face down. And what I mean by face down is flip it so that your design is touching the table or whatever surface that you're using. Now you can go ahead and cut out all of your vinyl. And I am going to go ahead and cut for both shirts. That way I don't have to stop in the middle and cut again. So I'm just going to go ahead and get all of my glitter HTV cut for both shirts. I am using the white HTV on the one we prepared in Cricut Design Space, and I'm using the rainbow white on the one we looked at in Photoshop. I'm going to use my Easy Press 2 to press both of these designs. And I want to start with the white one because it's a little bit simpler to press, and I also want to show the difference in vibrancy as far as color goes. So the first thing you are going to do is to get your shirt situated on your Easy Press mat. Give it a quick lint roll, and that is to remove any dust or fibers that are on your garment. The first thing you're going to press is your offset. You want to make sure that you have your offset situated in the correct. You want to make sure that your offset is on your shirt correctly. So I just kind of lay my print on top of my offset so that I know which way it's supposed to go. I give it a quick press down the center and then go ahead and line it up. And because we are double pressing it, you only need to press it long enough to tack it on the shirt right now. Once it's pressed, remove the clear transfer tape and then position your sublimation print on top of the offset layer. I tape mine down because I don't want it to move at all while I'm pressing it. Cover with a piece of butcher paper and sit your Easy Press there and leave it alone. At first it kind of hovers a little bit, but after a couple seconds it'll sit and not move. So I don't put any kind of pressure on my sublimation prints when I'm using the Easy Press. I just sit it there and let it go. With the Easy Press, you press sublimation prints at 385 for 45 seconds and then immediately remove the heat from the print. The process for the other shirt is very similar to the one we did on the first shirt, but I'm going to walk you through all the steps again. So go ahead and get your shirt prepared on your Easy Press mat or on your heat press. And the first thing you're going to do is press on your sublimation design. This design is a little bit larger, so you see me adjusting my shirt a little bit more to make sure that I can press it all in one press. Use your lint roller to remove any dust and give your print a press down the middle. Now you can also press down the middle of your shirt to line up to find the center, but usually what I do is kind of line it up with the tag, and that seems to be, but I've been doing this for a very long time, so it's really easy for me to kind of eyeball the center a little bit more. Another way to find the center of your shirt if you don't want to use the tag to line it up is to fold it down the center and give it a quick press. And what that press does is give you the line down the center to match up with the line that you made in your vinyl transfer. Place your design down and line it up to center and go ahead and give it a press. Again, the only thing you need to do is press it long enough to tack it down to the shirt. You don't need a super long press, because we're going to be going back over it again when we press the sublimation print. Go ahead and remove the transfer tape backing. I do cut off the extra white space from my print, but it's not 100% it's not 100% necessary, because we're going to pay attention to where we place it, and everything else is borderless. But you want to check up under the edges to make sure that your print is overlapping your design. And again, you are going to just hold it there for a couple seconds until it stops hovering around on you, and then you can just let it go. One thing to note, even when doing it this way, is sometimes you will get a little bit of sometimes you will notice a little ink after you have pressed your design. And that's okay, because this is cotton and sublimation ink does not stick to cotton. When I remove this sublimation print, you will see a little bit of ink around the design. But I am going to go and throw this in the washer and bring it back so that you can see that it washes right out. Once it's all done, go ahead and lift the press straight up and remove the print immediately. You can see the box from the color that I was talking about on the black, and this doesn't happen so much on the Bella and Canvas shirts. The black in those is a bit deeper, and I've never had this issue. But I'm using the Gildan shirt here, and as you can see, after a quick wash, that color came out around the edge. Up close, you can also see how amazing the Caesar rainbow white is. And here is an up close of our second design. I'm convinced that if we had used the method to print from Photoshop, that this color would be a lot more bright and vibrant.